social media has been incredible. Assuming that you're a great speaker or pretty good speaker, you can do what you're doing well. Video is important. I love social media because once somebody connects with Ramon, generally speaking, they're already sold. I do so much video, so much content, push so much out there. I do video because that's how people can see this is what you'll get if you hire Ramon. Either I repulse you, hopefully not too many people I repulse, or I will engage you. So that's why I like the power of video. Social media in general. Listen, social media has been out for 20 something years now, from Facebook to other platforms. It's here and it's going to stay. And so I think you can use it to watch silly cat videos all day, or you can use it to build your own brand, build your own authority as a speaker.
You're listening to Social Media Storytelling.
We have Ramon Ray here in the studio for Social Media Storytelling on this episode. So I met Ramon actually at a speaking event where he was speaking for NSA. And I thought he'd be an awesome person to have on our podcast because we talk about personal branding. We talk about social media. Ramon, could you, for the audience, do a quick introduction for us?
Sure, definitely. I do two main broad things. I work with very large tech brands and help them make their events not boring. So they hire me to host the event, MC the event, and etc. Parallel to that, I'm a keynote speaker talking about small business marketing, branding, growth, and other topics like that. On the other hand, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started 5 small businesses, sold 3 of them, authored 5 books or more, and those all in the context of small business as well. And I produce, part of those businesses is a content business. So smarthustle.com, which I sold, smallbiztechnology.com, which I sold, Small Business Summit, which I sold. You get in the ring, small business. That's pretty much all I do.
Dang, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you had small businesses. I knew you were a keynote speaker and you were hosting events, but dang, that's awesome. The first thing I want to dive into, so I thought this was a really cool tactic when I was listening to you speak. It was a tactic of using other people's brand to grow your personal brand, and how when you go to events, like even if you're not speaking with that person, you say you're on stage with that person, which you can. Can you dive into like detail with that? Because I thought that was genius, and I think a lot of people can benefit from using that strategy.
Absolutely. I've been to events with Dave Ramsey, Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Neil Patel. All the events have not been them all at the same time, but let's say I've been to an event with them. Now, the lowest level, which you should be very clear or you're lying, is to say, join me at said event with these people. That's not a lie. You will be there with them and you can blow your horn a bit. I don't do that, but that's one tactic. But the one I do is if I'm hosting an event, if I'm keynoting, if I'm on stage, if I'm doing a workshop in the bathroom and Gary V, Seth Godin, these, Eric Thomas are speaking at the event, Devin, Scout's honor, I am speaking with Eric Thomas and said person at event. So putting an image together, that's total truth. It's not anything else, but that elevates your brand. Oh, Ramon's speaking at the same event that Oprah's speaking at. It's okay if she's speaking at Tuesday and I'm speaking Wednesday. Authentically and honestly, they thought I was good enough to be at the same event as Oprah. So that's the tactic I do, going back to that whole aspect of personal branding, building your following, building your community, or as I talk about in my book, Celebrity CEO, being the celebrity CEO of your industry. That's what I do.
Wow, that's awesome. We have a lot of speakers that listen to this podcast. I was thinking for this episode, we could really dive into like speaking tips and strategies that they can use for landing new gigs or whatever they're trying to do for their business. You talked a lot about social media. Before we get into tips and tactics, how has social media helped you get more gigs, get more clients? Like, can you dive into that for us?
Sure. Social media has been incredible. Now, assuming that you're a great speaker or pretty good speaker, you can do what you're doing well. And video is important. I love social media because, hey, listen, once somebody connects with Ramon, generally speaking, they're already sold. As you know, Devin, I do so much video, so much content, push so much out there, even if my hair's not, well, my hair's always done, but even if my hair's not done and, I just got into bed as it were, I do video because that's how people can see this is what you'll get if you hire Ramon. Either I repulse you, hopefully not too many people I repulse, or I will engage you. So that's why I like the power of video. Social media in general. Listen, social media has been out, for 20 something years now, from Facebook to other platforms. It's here and it's going to stay. And so I think you can use it to watch silly cat videos all day, or you can use it to build your own brand, build your own authority as a speaker. And I think 2 ways, Devin, I would say. A, you may have the more engaging type of personality that's more the entertainment style. That's me. I'm not saying I can't go deep, but that's not my gift. If you ask me, Ramon, speak on Twitter for 4 hours, I'm not your guy, but I'm the engaging side. Or maybe you're not so entertaining and etc. Maybe that's not you, but you go deep. You can talk about, cardiac arrest or childcare or something serious topic at length. Push that out. Here's 7 things you need to know about gastronomical health and headache relief. I don't know. Go for it. That makes sense?
No, that makes total sense. Especially like the crazy thing about social media is there's different social channels that come out. So like MySpace, everybody thought MySpace was like, oh, it's gonna be here forever. And then Facebook, and now Facebook's kind of dying. So it's cool. Like, make sure you're on all the platforms, right? Like you're trying to be on all the platforms.
I'm on most of them.
The reason why I asked that is because that's a good tactic. Like if you're on one platform and it dies, then you got to pivot and go to the next one. So that's really cool.
But I am on the platform of email and websites that I'm on. So no matter what happens to social, websites and email, I'm still on. But yes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn are my 4 key platforms. TikTok, Devin, can I confess something to you just between us?
Yeah.
Nobody else? I couldn't figure out the interface. I opened it up. All the buttons just confused me. And I just said, forget it. So.
No, it takes a lot of work. And people like, even though they give you the tools to do it, you still have to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean how easy they make it. You still got to do it. Has social media ever landed you a gig? Like somebody looked at your profile and like, hey, I want to work with Ramon. Can you talk about one of your coolest experiences that way?
Yes, most of my gigs probably have been, I haven't measured it directly, social media in some way. The clients who may have worked with me, whatever, but they follow me, they tell me things like, Ramon, I love your stories. I watch them every morning, how you motivate people. I'm like, you're my client, but they're following me, not for the client-vendor relationship, but for Ramon. So meaning, they're kind of like, I'm serving them. So that's one, Devin, it builds the relationship, the sticky factor. Sticky is what people should be doing. Sticky. Number 2, though, the new people, I had one very serious German brand, big client of mine, has been a client for some time now. I don't know if they are currently, but they could call me back. The point is, metaphorically, Ramon, we have serious technology. We're kind of straight-laced. Boring. My words, not theirs. They make great software. They're not boring, but their executives could be a bit upright. Said, Ramon, we know you like burnt pancakes and bacon. We want you, boo. They didn't say boo. I added the boo, but we want you. Yeah. That was through social media.
That's awesome, man. Okay, and I think too, like, I don't know if you realized you said it, but you said you don't know like the measurement of the direct impact. I think the difficult thing for like speakers and social media is like, what is the ROI tied to it? Like, how can I tie direct dollars to social media? And I think it's a really hard thing to do, but what social media does from my experience is if you do go talk to someone, they already know who you are. You're in front of their face. So it's easier to get those gigs when you do call them. Right. If you want to expand on that too, from like what I was thinking.
Listen, if you're looking for direct dollars to people who bought from you, there are ways to do it, but you could be disappointed because that means you're going to go through whatever tool you're going to use, HubSpot, Keep or some other tool, MailChimp, and do the bit.ly link or tracking link. Oh, that came from this. You can do that. Absolutely, some funnel, 10 ways to hire your best speaker, and they come in. Absolutely, speakers, go for it and do it. But for me, the anecdotal evidence is people saying, Ramon, we see you everywhere. Let me check my TV. Nope, I didn't do any Super Bowl ads. Let me check radio. Nope, didn't do any radio. Let me check my fax machine. Nope, I'm not doing a fax broadcast. Let's see what's left. Website, that's not everywhere. Email, they got to be on my list. Only thing I can think of where you see me everywhere is social media. Stories, boom. Post, boom. IG, boom. LinkedIn, boom. Twitter, boom. It's everywhere. So that's yes.
Man, I love the way that you said it because it's so hard to tie ROI to it directly. So like, but you got to remember the people that you're talking to, the connections that you make through social media. How I met Sylvie was through 5 different people that I all met through social media. And then I met you. So like we're going 7 layers deep of people, but it was all because of social media. Like every one of those relationships because they saw me or I saw them on social media.
And since we mentioned her name, let me just shout her out. That's my good friend, the absolutely amazing Sylvie DiGiusto, who's an amazing brand strategist and more. I'm probably saying her exact thing differently, but just look up Sylvie DiGiusto, an amazing human. Love you, Sylvie.
She really is one of the most amazing people on this planet. Like she doesn't ask for anything. She's like, how can I help you guys? How can I help you guys propel yourself in the future. So she is an awesome
And I
person.
must say, Devin, if I may, it's services like Storyy as well that help.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just face it, cutting up, chopping up, doing it. We don't want to do all that crap, all that work. It's not crap, but we don't want to do all that stuff. We want somebody else to do it. So kudos to Storyy as well for the great work you do.
Thanks, Ramon. I appreciate that shout out. As we keep going into, because I love working on social media and video. So you were doing these speaking events. Were you doing speaking events before you started recording video content?
Yeah, I've been speaking so long, so sure. I mean, I've been speaking for my son's 28 for 24 years. So listen, video's been around way before that, but I think it's only been popular, the last 15 or so years, whatever the number may be. So yes, but speaking probably came first, but I think for sure, listen, Zig Ziglar's been a speaker, right? We've had Billy Graham has been a speaker, so Gandhi was a speaker, Mother Teresa. So there have been speakers since time is Shakespeare. But I think in this day and age, in this current format, more of us have had more platforms reaching more people, as it were, with more opportunities, thanks to social media, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. The reason why I asked that is because there's a lot of people that just go straight to video, but speakers are like our favorite clients because they already know how to speak. They just put a camera in front of them. By you speaking at events, even if it was small events getting started, like how did that help you transfer to video as well? Like add it to your arsenal?
Yeah. Imagine I'm speaking at an event and there's only 4 people in the audience and a bag of stale donuts. Not even stale donuts. Stale donuts with a hole ripped in the bottom of a bag. Guess what? Nobody has to know that. I can capture the video. Yeah. I'm still on stage. I'm still speaking. Chop that up. Just like Oprah. Oprah had what? 2 people and a pet poodle in her audience for years, but reached zillions of people through the power of video, which we call in English TV. So if that's helpful for you, so yes, everywhere you speak, everywhere you go, the Gary V effect, as it were, videotape that video. Yeah, if you're speaking at Shea Stadium to millions of people, pan the camera left and right to show all the people. But my point is, wherever you are, take your smartphone, take your high-end camera, shoot yourself like on video and record it and start there. Chop it up, share it out.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, like if you're trying to, where do speakers get their information? Is it social media? Is it newspaper? I'm just kidding about that. Maybe you do. Is it text? Like, how do you find your information? Because I want to see how well social media helps with that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Well, I get it everywhere. Meaning, email is important to me. I subscribe to emails. Many of our common friends, I subscribe to emails. And I get good old paper as well. I'll go back here and here's my stack of. I could show you. Business Week.
Nice. You do have newspapers. Okay. I guess I wasn't kidding.
I got paper. I got all kind of things like that. So yeah, I get a variety of sources, but social media for sure. I have LinkedIn, all over, but social media definitely. And the thing about social media, it's not so much reading it in depth, but it's to remember people, if that makes sense. So.
Dude, okay, I just have to expound on that because when we first started Storyy, like there's these people who are like, well, I'll pay you a lot of money, but I need a professional camera. I need like a video team. And we're like, no, pay us for like 1/4 the cost and we'll do more damage than you could with paying $100,000 for a full production team. So it's funny that you said that because I remember that exact conversation where you don't need the high production. You just got to get in front of the camera on your phone.
That's correct. That is correct. And you're right. So something, for example, I'll call my other friend who you should contact if you don't know him. That's another referral for you. Mark Schaefer. Yeah. Great guy. Okay. Mark Schaefer. So I am on his email list. He goes in depth about some topics that I do want to read in detail. That's one person, Seth Godin, maybe of us. But most people, Devin, I don't have time to read everything they're doing. Don't have time for that. However, I do want to remember them. I do want to follow up with them. You feel what I mean? The difference? So some things I will read in depth, a full 3,000 word New York Times article, metaphorically. But most of the thing, I can get a daily skim version. This happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, and I'm good. And I'm still remembering. Like you mentioned, Sylvie DiGiusto. I'm on her email list. Sorry, Sylvie. Do you think I read every single piece of content that she shares? No. But guess what? I see her name in my inbox several times a week. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Dude, you nailed it. Especially with social media. Like, yes, your content matters and your message matters, but like, don't think too much into it because really people, they skim past that stuff. Like, as long as they see your face or you're providing something of value, like they'll remember who you are and they'll reach out if they want to reach out. So I think it's awesome.
Right. And that goes back to the earlier segment. Ramon, we see you everywhere. No, you don't see me everywhere, but I get what they mean because the steady stream I do, maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. The good headline, 3 ways to pick your nose better, or whatever the silly, or 5 ways, ChatGPT, whatever. You keep doing that, the brain picks up. It's not going to be in depth, But this is for 2023. This is what it is. We are headline people. Sorry. Very few of us read every article in the Wall Street Journal back to back. No, we look at the headline. McDonald's lowers prices. Microsoft fires people. We're good. That's our news for the day. It affects our worldview and we move on for good or for bad. That's the game.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree 100%. So as we get to the end of our episode, I kind of want to end with this last segment because it really is, it's very super powerful. ChatGPT-3. What are your thoughts on that for speakers? How can they utilize it?
Well, listen, I love it. I've tested it and used it. And I think that if you can find a way to use it to spark new ideas or write content, especially if you're able to cite it, try to do that. But listen, I think it's great. It's another tool. We all Google things. We all use Wikipedia. We all hire freelancers to write content for us. So yes, some content you need to go in depth about, but most content you don't. And here's the thing for speakers. Here's what I used to do when I built smallbiztechnology.com and Smart Hustle, which I sold. I would take news of the day. Everybody has it, but I would just put in 10% my own spin on it. That makes sense? Yeah. So most of what we're saying, how to do video, Devin, what you say and the next guy and the next girl says is going to be about the same. But there's a few percentage points, the story version, how Devin says it, that only you can do, or how you say it, that only you can do.
Yeah, and I think that's why I love video so much. Like, you can ChatGPT-3 can replace content. Like they can write content better than any of us can. Like, let's be honest, it's overpowered than what we know currently. But with video, it's really hard to replace someone's story or their brain and their message. So what are your thoughts? Like, do you think ChatGPT will ever take over video? I don't know. I think it'd be really hard. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
No, look at you and I, Devin. People could ask you and I how to use social media in business. Go, Devin, you have 3 minutes. What you say is going to be different than I say. On the same way, though, we'll have some overlapping points. You feel what I mean? So this is a good example. It's okay if Devin talks about how to use video for business. It's okay if I do. Devin's different, so much handsomer as well, better looking glasses, better hair than me, everything. But he's still going to say it different than me. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, video and who we are, our personalities, how we say things, how we dress, our image, technology just can't replace that. There's only one Ramon. Now, there's multiple Ramoncitos. There's multiple, hola, señor, me llamo Ramon Aurelios. There's only one Ramon. That's for sure. Yeah.
And you can't replace that on video. Like, I could totally replace your content. Nobody would know ChatGPT-3, but no one would replace on video. So I thank you. I just had to support that, make sure people understand how important video is. Thanks for hopping today's episode, Ramon. How can we find you at before we end?
Yeah, you can find me at RamonRay.com, RamonRay.com, and from there, connect with me on all the platforms. Thanks so much for asking, Devin. Thanks for what you do.
Thanks, Ramon.
Thanks for listening. For all things social media, visit us online at storyy.co. We'll see you next time.